God. Oh, Underwood is a big, big horse for me.
Oh my God, Underwood is a big, big horse for me. The horse of my life.
The horse of your life?
The love of my life. I won a lot of competitions with him. I loved him all my life and I miss him so much. Too much now.
Too much.
When did you first meet Underwood? When did he come into your life?
So as I was doing jumping competitions, I was moving from one horse to another and I needed a better horse. So I started looking for one. I went to Normandy, a region which is known for having the best horses in France. There I found Underwood. Straight away I knew he would be the one. So I bought him and took him back home in 1991 until 2009 when he sadly passed away. It was a big shock for me. Over the years, I had had 6 horses, but everyone knows that Underwood was the horse of my life.
I'm not a horse person. I've never had a horse. What does it mean to have the horse of your life?
I think it's like a mutual connection, basically like a couple dancing with all the passion. We understand each other and I just have to think about something and the horse will do it. I think that's the difference with the best horse riders. They have a technique and everything, but they also have that great connection with the horse that makes everything they do together look like it's just one person doing it.
What was it like to lose Underwood?
A big depression.
It was a big depression for me. It's funny because as humans, we don't accept getting old, and it's the same with horses. And Underwood was a good example of this. He wanted to jump, he wanted to go outside, and there was nothing worse for him than staying at home and not going to the competitions. So we continued until I realized he was having some problems, and we had to stop. I knew then that he didn't have long left.
A short time after that, you took to watching cows. What was soothing about watching cows at this time in your life?
After Underwood's death, I just couldn't see or be around horses. I couldn't think about horses or horse riding. I couldn't compete. We would be driving somewhere and my husband would say, "Oh, Sabine, look at those horses." And I was like, "No, I can't." We were living in Luxembourg, very near to a big cow farm, and I started to watch all these big animals every day, going in and out of work, and I realized that I couldn't be around horses, but I did really miss being around animals. And so I went to the farm and asked the owner if I could go and watch and then brush the cows, and that's how it started.
How did the farmer react? Did you have much experience with cows before?
It was very surprised, but he accepted.
He was very surprised, but he accepted. I started to work for them, and while I was working there, I met this cow, which was called 309, cow number 309, and she seemed to have more feelings than some of the other cows. I realized that cows aren't as dumb as some people think. In fact, 309 was very intelligent, and so we formed this special connection. You probably know, but for cows to produce milk, they need to be pregnant, so I saw 309 become pregnant twice, and after birth, her babies were taken away from her straight away. Then she became pregnant again, and I thought, this is enough, I have to buy 309. So I bought her and actually delivered the calf myself, which was pretty weird and pretty intense. During the whole pregnancy, I spoke to the calf so it would get used to my voice, and just 2 hours after the calf was born, he was used to my voice. He was following me. It was just amazing.
Why did you call the calf Aston?
That's why the mother's name...
It's a funny story. The mother's name was 309, which is a car name in France. Peugeot 309. So when the calf was born, we decided to stick with the car theme name, and my husband is a big fan of the Aston Martin, so hence we called him Aston.
So Aston is an upgrade in a way. How did he get on with your husband?
Well, it's always difficult.
Why?
Aston is a male and my husband is a male, and Aston has difficulties with all the males around me.
Ah, so what, were they rivals for your affection?
Certainly.
Despite the rivalry, Aston settled in well. And, in a way, Sabine settled in too. Being around Aston and 309 helped her out of the depression she'd been feeling since Underwood died. Soon, she was ready to get back in the saddle. She bought another horse, called Sammy, and started to train him. Aston wasn't jealous. He was curious.
Allez!
Once I was watching Aston and he started doing some dressage moves on his own. He was watching the horses training and following what they were doing. So I decided, why not start to ride him?
Allez. Hop, hop.
I fell off big time, but I wanted him to enjoy it, so kept trying until I felt he was really enjoying it. And one day the mayor of a little village near my house told me there was a little event and it would be fun if we could participate in it. And, well, you know, the rest is history.
Dans l'Europe.
How did you feel when you first saw Aston make that first jump?
Je me suis dit,
I knew Aston could jump, but I never expected him to jump that well. There were riders who were working with me and they were very impressed. The most incredible thing about Aston is that he manages to correct himself in the run-up to the jumps. He understands his mistakes and he understands how to correct them. Those are things that only the best horses can do. And so it's crazy to see Aston doing it on his own without any help from us.
exceptionnel.
What precautions do you take to protect Aston? I mean, is it safe for him?
Comme les chevaux, c'est-à-dire...
It's the same as with an Olympic horse or a sports person. He receives lots of massages from myself and other trainers. He also has balneotherapy, hydrotherapy.
Hydrotherapy for the bull.
Yes. Normalement, ça existe.
Normally it only exists for horses, but now I'm a little bit famous. I'm able to access those centers with Aston as well.
Et les balnéos pour chevaux.
Can you describe what kinds of moves can Aston do?
Show jumping or dressage, all the things you see in the Olympic horse events, Aston can do it. The only thing is, Aston is a lot heavier than any horse. He weighs over 1.4 tons, so the vets tell me how impressive it is that he can do all this.
Is it dangerous working around an animal of this size?
Dangerous for me.
Well, you could say it's dangerous to work with any animal. A dog could bite you, you can fall off a horse. People say, he's a bull, he will hit you at some point. But I don't think so. I think it's all about the relationship. For example, you're not going to go to work every day and punch a co-worker.
You don't know what life's like at the BBC, eh? But, I mean, they are dangerous animals. I mean, in Spain and indeed in France, you have bullfighting where the animals can be extremely aggressive. In North America, you have the rodeo where people try and ride bulls and they need massive protection if the animal comes at them. There's even an expression in English which says, if you mess with the bull, you get the horn. So what are you doing to protect yourself?
Non, parce que c'est
The difference with Aston compared to, say, for instance, the rodeo, is the fact that that craziness of a bull is made by the human who is getting the bull crazy or angry in one way or another. In France, there are people working, such as I do, to show that there are nice bulls. They are not aggressive, and they are miles and miles away from what you see in the corridas or the rodeo.
Tell me about the first time you took Aston away from home.
I took Aston out very early, like he was a pet dog on a leash, because I wanted him to know what human life was like and feel comfortable when he was near cars or crying children, the noise of a street in general. Whenever I go with Aston on a show, there are often 200 to 300 kilometers from home, so Aston needs to sleep in a box like horses do. But Mr. doesn't like it, so I have to go into the box with him to get him to sleep. And what's impressive is the boxes are very small, but despite that, when Aston wakes up or changes sleeping position, he takes great care not to hurt me or squash me.
So you're right in there cuddling up with him.
Yes, I'm lying down to sleep with him and he's lying down right next to me.
What's it like to ride him?
It's fantastic.
It's fantastic. It's very special because his back is very large, not like a horse, so it's very different but very comfortable.
I mean, is he becoming something of a celebrity on the equine circuit?
Oui, à l'international, oui.
Yes, I have to say he has become an international celebrity. There is German and Russian TV coming next week. I spoke to Japanese TV last week, so yeah, I think that in the years to come there will be other people doing the same thing. And why not create a competition for that?
Bonne initiative.
Could you see bulls in the Olympics?
Oh, I love it. I would like, yes. Ah oui, it will be marvelous, fantastic.